Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Daemonhunters, my fair review. What is Chaos Gate? It's a classic tactical turn-based isometric sci-fi game. 99% is exactly the same like XCOM 2, but it does everything better than XCOM 2. It's still an XCOM 2 ripoff. Reason is very simple. Warhammer 40k has a far better world and lore than XCOM. The game is on the verge of copyright, but let's go to sections and rate the game properly as it deserves. First section is the story. In order to understand what is happening in the game, you will need to be a Warhammer fan or to at least read something about Warhammer lore before starting this game, because the game won't bother to introduce you to the game world. It is a common story with devs of Warhammer. They all act like all people are supposed to know 40k lore and just throw the game in your face without a proper intro. So let me try to explain at least in short what is happening in this game. Grey Knights that you are commanding in the game are the strongest God Emperors, DNA, human bioengineer, psychic space marines in the entire universe. In the lore of Warhammer, one Grey Knight is worth more than a billion soldiers. They are working with Inquisition, or better to say with Ordo Malleus, Inquisition part that is directly responsible for hunting demons and chaos in the galaxy. Their base is located on Saturn's moon, Titan. They are the hammer, they cannot be corrupted by chaos, and they're only acting in times of great crisis for humanity, considering their numbers are the lowest out of all Space Marine chapters. They are a myth, a legend, a nightmare story for demons before they go to bed. Imagine thousands of Doomslayers. That's what the Grey Knights would be. The story is done well, but our Grey Knights do not feel so overpowered as in lore because of the actual gameplay. They feel like classic XCOM 2 soldiers. With all of that aside, a disease is spreading in the galaxy known as the Bloom. Plague god of Nurgle, demons of chaos, they're spreading it through an entire sector of the galaxy. It's on Grey Knights to stop this at all costs. Plenty of good cinematics in the game, a bit of lore in conversation with NPCs too. A lot of Warhammer quotes and good atmosphere overall, so 9 out of 10 for the story, it was fun. Next section is game bugs and optimization. Fast loading screens, very few bugs, no glitches, and abysmal performance. There is no reason for a game that looks like this to work like trash. FPS on average was around 40, in some areas it can drop below 20, and I was playing on ultra settings with very strong config. If you lower resolution or video settings, same things will happen. It doesn't change a bloody thing in performance, to say it more clearly. This game is just optimized very bad, and that's about it. Luckily, it's turn-based, so frames do not impact the gameplay that much, or it would be a complete disaster. 4 out of 10 for bugs and optimization. Next section is game time. It took me exactly 70 hours to finish the game on its hardest difficulty available, the so-called legendary difficulty. On any other easier difficulty, it will take under 40 hours to finish the game, because you will get more resources way much faster, hence you're gonna finish the game faster. Replay value is next to 0. I usually say how this is a bang for your buck, but this game is really repetitive and it should have been at least 3 times smaller for the amount of content it offers. It overstays its welcome, and it overstays it in the same stupid way as XCOM 2. From 70 hours run, I farmed for 60 hours, so main story is actually 10 hours long with gameplay and cinematics combined. 7 out of 10 for game time. Next section is game difficulty. I played on the hardest difficulty, legendary difficulty, and it was hard in terms of resources and managing injuries, way much more than in terms of the actual combat. Progress is slower, resources are scarce, upgrades cost more, they take more time to upgrade, enemies will deal more damage, and they are tougher to kill. Challenge is there, bosses are hard enough, especially the last boss. Everyone can play this game since it offers 4 difficulty options, so I guess 9 out of 10 would be fair. Next section is maps and graphics. Around 20 plus different planets to visit in the system, all unique in design, different colors to be more precise. Main map is the sector of the galaxy that you'll navigate with your spaceship, the Baleful Edict. Crystal clear UI, crystal clear galaxy map. Graphics are more than solid for isometric game, and cinematics are just great. There is plenty of detail of how you can customize your Grey Knights too, so 9 out of 10 for maps and graphics. Next section, and the most important one, would be gameplay. The most important part, again, this is isometric turn-based game and a complete ripoff of XCOM 2 in Warhammer 40k world. They copied everything from XCOM 2 and removed the most annoying thing in the game, the mischance. There is no mess in Chaos Gate. They also copied bad things from XCOM 2 like map visibility and triggering fights on random. To put it on short here, you'll play with different type of Grey Knights with unique abilities by spending action points and willpower. Full cover, half cover, grenades, range and melee weapons, psychic powers, aka magic in the world of 40k. 90% of the game is to collect seeds, kill the bloom spawn or close the chaos gate. Unreal how repetitive it gets after only 20 hours in the game. It's just unreal. They had plenty of options to add more variety, like ambushes, survive in X amount of turns, kill the unmet boss, finish mission in X amount of turns, save a civilian, extract someone, or something like that. There is nothing at all. Just collect seeds and eradicate bloom spawns in 90% of freaking missions for 60 hours in a row. When campaign missions come, you'll forget what you were doing last during the same main campaign. Gameplay, on the other hand, and combat is satisfying. There are hundreds of different ways to slay demons. Executions, chopping body parts, disabling them, overwatch kills, melee kills, range kills, environment kills, damage over time kills, a lot of variety in killing chaos spawns, that's for sure. I liked it a lot, but variety options is what killed this game. It's way too much like XCOM. 8 out of 10 for the gameplay. Next section is leveling and itemization. This is a long topic and I'll make it as short as possible. You kill demons and you collect 5 different colors of seeds. You research new projects with seeds and unlock stratagems and passive abilities. You kill demons and you get requisitions. With requisitions, you'll upgrade tier of items you can get after every mission and you'll acquire new Grey Knights. You collect servitors to repair and build new constructions on your ship, Baleful Edict. Once you have enough bloom seeds, you'll be able to upgrade your gear with them. Raise damage, raise crit, raise health, raise willpower, and so on. As far as Grey Knights go, they can get experience points after every map and they will learn new active and passive skills, more health, more armor, specialize in healing or in throwing grenades, get new equipment slots, and so on. There are a lot of Grey Knight classes in the game: Interceptors, Justicars, Paladins, Librarians, Apothecary, Purgators, Purifiers, and so on. Every class is good at certain things. Some are great for support, some for crowd control, some for melee, some tank well, some provide huge firepower from afar, and so on. Items, well, plenty of items in the game, 2 different sets of armors, 7 to 8 different types of melee and range weapons, and plenty of active and passive equipment. All items come in 3 different tiers. The higher the tier, the better the stats of the items, hence the more powerful your Grey Knights are. It's an XCOM 2 ripoff in every way you can think of, but in a much better universe of Warhammer 40k. Simple as that. 8 out of 10 would give it more if it's not a ripoff. Next section is NPCs and enemies. The best NPC that could easily carry the entire game and make it 100 times better and more immersive game dies in the first 10 minutes of the game. Weird and very stupid decision. They wanted to copy XCOM 2 badly, I guess, while Agravane was a commander with actual character instead of a mute commander that we are playing during the campaign. Then you're left with old Grey Knight Hector, Adeptus Mechanicus Dominus, and one irritating comic book Inquisitor that doesn't fit in the world of Warhammer 40k at all. They will communicate with you non-stop during briefings, during missions, during upgrades, during your travels around the galaxy, and so on. You will also report to your Grandmaster and have some interesting conversations with him along the way. Enemies, well, there are around 6 or 7 bosses in the game, all unique and very hard to kill. From classic enemies, we got Nurgle Chaos Spawns only, the Plague God minions. They come in classic zombie forms, corrupted space marines, behemoths, ranged and melee infantry. The variety of enemies is solid, but frankly, for such a long game, it could have been bigger than it actually is. 8 out of 10 for NPCs and enemies. Last section is music and sound. 80% of the game is fully voice acted. Voice acting is done well. Sound effects are very good. Music is atmospheric but also forgettable. So 9 out of 10 for music and sound. Final verdict. We got 9 sections with 71 points, and that would be 7.8 out of 10 for Chaos Gate Daemonhunters. This is a better game than XCOM 2 for sure, but score is lower because it's more than a ripoff. It's on a borderline of copyright. Its abysmal performance reduced the score even further, and its grinding for resources and repetitive missions destroyed a potentially great 9 out of 10 game. With all of those problems aside, Grey Knights, they feel weak, and in Warhammer 40k lore, they're godlike demon exterminators. Grey Knights suffered because of XCOM-like game mechanics, and there is nothing we can do about it. The game is still fun to play, or I would not spend 70 hours in it otherwise. It might be the best Warhammer 40k video game in the history of 40k games. That just says how bad 40k games are. I believe the price is hilarious and that you should wait for at least 50% discount to buy this, if not even more. I'll thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.